निरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुस्तुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणम्। परमानन्दमाधवं परमानन्दमाधवं परमानन्दमाधवम्। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Okay, today we are reading a third canto, fifth chapter, 20th shloka. मान्धव्यस् सपाद भगवान् प्रजा संयमनो यमः भ्रातुः क्षेत्र भुज भुजिष्यायां जातः सत्यवती सुततात्। मान्धव्य सपाद भगवान् प्रजा संयमनो यमः भ्रातुतः क्षेत्र भुजिष्यायां जातः सत्यवती सुतात्। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mandavya, the greatest rishi, Mandavya Muni, Sap Sapat by his curse, Bhagavan, the greatly powerful, Praja, one who is born, Samyamanaha, controller of death, Yamaha, known as Yamaraja, Bhratuhu, of the brother, Kshetre, in the wife, Bhujishyayam, kept, Jataha, born, Satyavati, the mother of both Vichitravirya and Vyasadeva, Sutat, by the son Vyasadeva. Translation: I know that you are now Vidura due to the cursing of Mandavya Muni, and that formerly you were King Yamaraja, the great controller of living entities after their death. You were begotten by the son of Satyavati, Vyasadeva, in the kept wife of his brother. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Mandavya Muni was a great sage, and Vidura was formerly the controller Yamaraja, who takes charge of living entities after death. Birth, maintenance, death are three conditional states of the living entities who are within the material world. As appointed controller after death, Yamaraja once tried Mandavya Muni for his childhood profligacy and ordered him to be pierced with a lance. Mandavya, Mandavya, being angry at Yamaraja for awarding him undue punishment, cursed him to become a Sudra, member of the less intelligent laborer class. Thus, Yamaraja took birth in the womb of the kept wife of Vichitravirya from the semen of Vichitravirya's brother, Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is the son of Satyavati by the great sage Parashara, and Vichitravirya is the son of the same Satyavati by the great king Shantanu, the father of Bhishma Deva. This mysterious history of Vidura was known to Maitreya Muni because he happened to be a contemporary friend of Vyasadeva's. In spite of Vidura's birth from womb of a kept wife, because he had otherwise high parentage and great connection, he inherited the highest talent of becoming a great devotee of Lord. To take birth in such a great family is understood to be an advantage for attaining devotional life. Vidura was given this chance due to his previous greatness. There was a reference to in the same paragraph in the purport for the chapter 1, 13th sloka and 1. So let me also read that one. The translation: Sri Suta Goswami said, while traveling on pilgrimage, Vidura received knowledge of the destination of the self from the great sage Maitreya and then returned to Hastinapura. He became as well as versed in the subject as he desired. So let me report the purport also, because there is a reference between the relationship between Vidura and Maitreya Muni. So purport: Vidura, one of the prominent figures in the history of the Mahabharata, he was conceived by Vyasadeva in the womb of the maidservant Ambika, mother of Maharaj Pandu. He is the incarnation of Yamaraj. Being cursed by Manduka Muni, he was to become a Sudra. The story is narrated as follows. Once upon a time, the state police caught some thieves who had concealed themselves in the hermitage of Manduka Muni. The police constables, as usual, arrested all the thieves and Manduka Muni along with them. The magistrate specifically punished the Muni to death by being pierced with a lance. When he was just to be pierced, the news reached the king, and he at once stopped the act on consideration of his being a great Muni. The king personally begged the Muni's pardon for the mistake of his men, and the saint at once went to Yamaraja, who prescribed the destiny of the living beings. Yamaraja, being questioned by the Muni, replied that the Muni in his childhood pierced an ant with a sharpened straw, and for that reason he was put into difficulty. The Muni thought it unwise on the part of Yamaraja that he was punished for his childish innocence, and thus the Muni cursed Yamaraja to become a Shudra. And this Shudra incarnation of Yamaraja was known as Vidura, the Sudra brother of Dhritarashtra and Maharaja Pandu. But his Sudra, son of Kuru dynasty, was equally treated by Bhishmadeva, along with his other nephews. And in due course, Vidura was married with a girl who was also born in the womb of Sudrani by a Brahmana. Although Vidura did not inherit the property of his father, the brother of Bhishmadeva, still he was given sufficient state property by Dhritarashtra, the elder brother of Vidura. Vidura was very much attached to his elder brother, and all along he tried to guide him on the right path. During the fratricidal war of Kurukshetra, Vidura repeatedly implored his elder brother to do justice to the sons of Pandu. But Duryodhana did not like such interference by his uncle, and thus he practically insulted Vidura. This resulted in Vidura's leaving home for pilgrimage and taking instructions from Maitreya. So, Hare Krishna. So, in the purport, there are two things just I wanted to highlight. That is, I mean, uh, Yamadharmaraja, he was cursed by Mandhavya Muni. So, look at that. Yamaraja is the one who takes account of living beings' actions, and according to their what type of action they perform, he gives the punishment. So, on outwardly, when we look at Mandavya Muni, he has performed some action in his childhood, but later he has performs so much penance, and but yet he was subjected to that punishment. So, from Yamadharmaraja's perspective, he has done whatever his duty, and but yet he was subjected to the curse of the Mandavya Muni. So, the karma is something. The punishment, or the it's said that, right, if there is an action, there will be a reaction for sure. But the beauty of because he is exalted Vaishnava, and for the all these acts, the Lord's mysterious hand is behind, because he was supposed to be part of this Mahabharata, and then he has been outwardly, for a practicing devotee, it may appear, how come such a great exalted person who is in charge of living entities after their death, to judge, to give their judge their actions and give the punishments or whatever reward, but yet he is the same person is also undergoing the curse of the Mandava Muni. So Mandava Muni performed that without the Supreme Lord's will, we cannot. So Vidura is to be part of this Mahabharata. He was that is what I think that's how it is. So whole act has been enacted, because how come Yamadharmaraja, for performing his duty, he is subjected to this. But there is also one thing on a practical basis we can learn. I mean, see, when a person giving punishment, he also need to judge what kind of this person act he has done, under what circumstance he has done. So if it is childish, that is true, but later his life, he has practiced, yeah, he has on the path of the realization of the Supreme Lord. He meditated and he totally surrendered his life to the Supreme Lord. So he's really subject to, he's really needed this punishment, or he should be forgiven. I'm just uh, saying loud, because these are the things we, in our day-to-day life, we come across, and how we can interpret all this. So in the divine scheme of the Supreme Lord, is orchestrate. We cannot uh, from our mundane knowledge, we cannot judge whether this act uh, has been done incorrectly. No, everything manifests. So here, two things, from a practical perspective, I would see is, one is karma and action. As per the karma laws of karma, action and reaction, there will be there, no matter whatever it is. But second thing is the Krishna's hand, the Supreme Lord's will. That, so even though there is a big mistake is done, but the lords, they are part of in a bigger, in whatever, in the scheme that they have to be part, and then the mistake could be very serious, but with the devotees of the Lord, he the punishment may not be that severe. So often when we go for preaching, they will say, well, no matter whatever it is, the karma is right. In Bhagavad Gita, we talk about karma, three types of karmas, right? So if we perform good actions, we are going to go back to in the heaven, or if we perform bad actions, we are going to go to the hell. So either way, this way or that way. But Bhagavad Gita teaches us we need to rise beyond these good karma and bad karma. That is uh, no attachment. Directly go back to the Supreme Lord. So that is what we have to perform akarma. So the Bhagavad Gita, so how do we attain that akarma? Through the devotional activities. That is only the way we can go back to the Godhead. So Srila Prabhupada has given this beautiful process. See, Sanatan Dharma, it's a very vast. So there are so many processes, there are so many principles. One may get confused because often in the name of uh, who should worship, what should worship, there is within the Sanatan Dharma, there is so much what do you call processes are there. Some people say that this is best, that is best. So there is constant debate is going on. But Srila Prabhupada has given the topmost process for us. There cannot be better than this process, because ultimately the birth and death cycle can only be one can get out of this birth and cycle only by the Lord Vishnu. He's only He can only deliver, because in our childhood people used to say Narayana is the only one who can deliver one from the birth and death cycle. So all the different forms, everything comes from the Lord only, right? Because the Lord himself, he says, Mamaivamsho Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha. All the living entities are part and parcel of him. So Srila Prabhupada has given this in, he says, Srila Prabhupada is very straight in whenever he gives any instructions. So he says, Bhakti means only worship of the Lord Vishnu or Krishna. So as a preachers, when we go out, we should be careful of demonizing other worshippers. That's, at least in my opinion, that's not our business. All we can say, we can educate them. Yes, this, see, even the Bhagavatam says there are three ways of looking at the Lord. See, the three ways are like, um, what are the three ways? So the Lord cannot have form, and the Lord can be situated as a Paramatma in heart and the Bhagavan feature. So these are the three ways one can visualize the Supreme Lord. But often we go and criticize. So as a preacher, we should avoid that. But the best process that can be is the Bhagavan feature, because in the Bhagavan feature, we can personally serve the Lord and his devotees. So that's how we should be communicating without demonizing the other aspects, because there are different ways, but there are some ways which are better. So Srila Prabhupada has given us that best process for us. And and not only he gave the best scriptural scriptures for us, because Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, these are the two scriptures which can deliver us. So there is no other scripture that we need to endeavor to read, because our lifespan itself is so small in Kali Yuga. On top of that, this age is considered as a quarrelsome age. So there are so many um, distractions and the fickle mind. These are all put together. Practicing seriously the devotional process is challenging. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada has given us the topmost, the best. I mean, in other yugas, probably they have to perform so many sacrifices to get this. But Srila Prabhupada has given us this, the best process, and in a simplest way. So that is what I think. And another thing, in the end of the purport, it says, uh, To take birth in such a great family is understood to the advantage of attaining the devotional life. This is about environment. See, in what environment we are, that shape us, or that make us what we are. Because one of the great author also says, if you tell me about your friends, I will tell you about. So here, the environment, in what environment? So by the uh, our previous acts, the jivas takes a birth in such a family where their progress can be so easily. So when it is said in the brahmanas family one takes birth, it is their fortune that because of previous karmas they have taken the birth in that family, meaning that because brahmanas by their definition, they are they are situated in the devotional service, and therefore a person who takes a living entity who takes birth in that family, it will be easy for them to practice, because uh, other in other varnas if they take, it will be tough. Because the environment has a influence on us. But look at that, in the Kali Yuga, uh, and in society as all, we know that by birth one cannot be treated in which varna it is, because the Lord says that one character, one what is their character that makes the, whether he is a Sudra or Brahmana, Vaishya or Kshatriya, that is they by their character that one is decided. But unfortunately in the society we see that, okay, person who born in Brahmana family is considered Brahman, of course, I mean, uh, but that's not true. Because yeah, I remember there was one time I was with my colleagues, and then one of them was a Brahmana. So he was like, in the during the discussions he was saying, oh, I'm Brahmana, but I I consume meat and all these things which are not ideal for the spiritual progress. Then and it made me, at that time I was not into in Srila Prabhupada teachings. I haven't heard, but then I was wondering how can this person can be treated Brahmana? No, right? So, but there are persons who are not in the Brahmana family, but yet they practice nicely all this. So, in one sense, yes, birth will in that right family will help for the spiritual progress. Now look at Vidura. Vidura born to a maid servant, but mm, he has, of course, he is in his previous life he is Yamadharmaraj himself. So, uh, and Vidura also is guiding his brother Dhritarashtra, but Dhritarashtra was blind, and he was so attached to his family, and that's the reason often not much he used to he never not much he used to listen to Vidura. So it is very important that when some wise person gives an advice, we need to think about it. So another thing is, it is said that uh, it is said that at the end of the life, whatever we in that whatever conscious we are, that will decide our next life. So in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, right, Antakale cha mameva smaran muktve kalevaram yaha prayati samadbhavam yati nasti atra samshayah. See, the Antakalecha, at the end of the life, our conscious, whatever that conscious, that decides our next life. So it is very important that um, to develop that conscious. because it is said that it is not easy. See, at the end of the life, uh, the death is so severe. It is said that like biting thousands and thousands of scorpions biting at one time. So just imagine one scorpion biting itself we cannot tolerate. Now, when so many scorpions are biting together, can we have a conscious uh, on the to think about the Supreme Lord? No, we'll be thinking about the pain. Therefore, I feel our lifestyle is very important. Cultivating a right lifestyle, simple life is very important, because day in day out, if we practice, then only we get to that point. When we get to that point of our leaving this body, we will have a chance about thinking that, and that is the reason there is a Srila Prabhupada gave a very greater emphasis on sadhana. We do the sadhana bhakti. So it's not that one day we perform and then we can rest other days. No, every day this has to be performed. So Srila Prabhupada, um, uh, when he was here, when he came to Western society, the Western society was totally following a different lifestyle. It's all about opulent materialism. So this is the problem. See, I often uh, we may hear so many lectures and everything, but until and unless we cultivate those those instructions in our day-to-day life, because in Kali Yuga we say that the process of bhakti is easy. That is true. The processes of bhakti is easy, but yet there are so many distractions. Look at that. Like 20, 30 years back, we didn't have so many facilities, but now we have so many facilities at the we have everything is, especially after the last 10 years, the technological advancements are making our life very easy. But if we question truly, um, are we are happy? I mean, forget about spiritual practice. Even if you ask a materialistic person, is he happy? If we contemplate, we are not happy. 20, 30 years back, though we didn't have so many facilities, we were so happy. Why? Because one thing it is said that a person who is in nature, closer to the nature, they will appreciate the Supreme Lord. Now, recently we went to Gita Nagari, and when you go through the in the Gita Nagari roads, when you look at the nature is so beautiful, it will be mesmerizing. When you think about, when you look at that, then you recollect, wow, the nature is so beautiful, how this whole thing is created. Then you remember, yes, because the mountains, the greenery, the lavish, the different type of plants, flowers, all these things, when you look at, then you think about the creator. And who is that creator? It's not somebody man, right? The human being. It is somebody beyond. We think about, yes, the God is so merciful, and so he created this beautiful land. But when we come to the urban places like metropolitan cities or big cities, which are which are flooded with so much construction, I mean, big buildings, flyovers. And when you look at all these things, then you think, wow, what a gigantic creation. Then obviously it is natural instinct, right? You think about the creator, and the creators who created all these human beings, and then you appreciate the advancements, and then you think all this is about. So that is the reason it is said that um, people who are closer to the nature, they are very god conscious, and And one thing is, even the Amish families. Last time, I think before that year, a couple of years back, uh, the organizers arranged to visit a Amish family. When we go there, and we learned that they are their lifestyle is so basic. They wake up early in the morning, that's their lifestyle. And then they very minimalistic dependence on all the modern amenities. And they go to bed very early because they don't even use the light. I mean, in their homes, I think there is no electricity. And because with sunset, they go to the bed. At sunrise, they wake up. So very simplistic. Well, when I'm bringing this topic, I don't mean to say that we should lead that, but what I'm saying is, people who are closer to the nature, they appreciate those qualities of what do you call uh, uh, the mode of goodness. They will be in the mode of goodness. See, no matter whatever you have, how much money you have, whatever facilities you have, the needs, the human hankering, the basic things are same. You only eat what your capacity, and you need a shelter, basic shelter, and then you need to sleep. Beyond that, all other things are just fulfilling our ego or to show off all these things. So it's very important, because in the name of progress, in the name of all these things, we endeavor our time in spending to achieve all the material opulence. And if you are not doing that, then you are found to be odd man out. So, but when we read scriptures, we are constantly reminded that the purpose of the life, and how we should lead, and what is the ultimate aim. So the ultimate aim is going back to the Godhead, and how we can achieve. And because particularly in this verse, there is a mention of that what we the conscious of the end of the life, that's what determine. So how do we develop that one? So it's not easy to lead a very simple life, because we are in a society where people are very passionate to do so many things. They're constantly doing this one, but truly people are not even taking a moment to see, are they really happy, or how many of us really thinking that okay, taking a break. See, when long weekends or whenever holidays come, we plan to go here and there, but we fail to spend time looking inwardly, looking ourselves, what is happening with us. So that is very important. See, I remember when I was with one of my colleagues, uh, they were saying every year, a week, they take a break and they go to some oceanic place or some remote place, and they spend 1 week with family. That time, they were saying, gives them a lot of freshness in their life. And also, I remember one of my colleague, I think in Canada or somewhere, they drop them in a forest. In that forest, you won't have anything. Not they. There is only probably a torchlight, and then nothing. So this person went for a week. So all they what they do is, I asked him what activities you have done. He said it was so rejuvenating him. And then every day they go for he's the only one person, and he was there. And every day morning he wakes up, and then he goes for fishing, and then comes back, and then whatever he got, and just make food out of it and eat. So the idea is to get away from the day-to-day rat race, and then just rejuvenate. But truly speaking, that is good. from day to day rat race going away, and then, but some time if they spend, really what is the purpose of the life, because they don't have this understanding. But Srila Prabhupada gave this literature for us. The very purpose of this literature is to think, to make us to think about what I am, what is the purpose of this life, what I am doing. So that thinking, we should think, because the scriptures are suggesting us. So that thinking we got because of reading this literature. So it is very important, I feel, that from time to time we take ourselves some time to introspect and see, yes, what I am doing, is it aligned according to the scriptures? Because our activities, mundane activities also, right, we cannot stop working because we are grihasthas. We have to perform all this for the family, and so this is very important, because constantly we are in and out. But taking time out and recalibrating ourselves, thinking about what I am doing, is it in the right path or not, that analysis is to be done. Because going, coming, all these things keep happening because we perform so many things. So we need to recalibrate. So often, like, we have different festivals we have, but personally one should take out time, and then uh, half a day or a day, one should go and think back all the things that are they are doing, and then recalibrate, and that will really enable us to keep us on the path. Otherwise, in this rat race, we'll keep on doing the things. So that is one thing. And another thing, um, I believe that body, mind, soul, this is a thing very much very important. See, body, mind, soul. So I believe this keeping a good health is very important for our spiritual progress and attainment. See, when struggles with the body and mind, what can we do? We are uh, only acharyas who are above this material platform or bodily concept, they can ignore. But sadhakas, we need to take care. The way I would say is, if we want to reach the destination, we have to take good care of our vehicle. And this vehicle, very important, because it's Krishna gave this vehicle, so we need to focus on that. And at the same time, the bhakti process is like a gas in the vehicle. So this bhakti only we can keep us um, fine to reach our destination. And more important is this mind is so important, and this only can be uh, uh, controlled through uh, the sadhana. And it is said that, just one analogy I will give. It is said that the mind is compared with a monkey. See, monkey is known for its unstable, meaning all the time it cannot sit at one place, and the mind is compared with a monkey. And even further, it is said mind is like a monkey which fully intoxicated and stepped on a nail. Just imagine, monkey by its nature itself is um, so unstable, and when it is intoxicated, then you can see how what kind of the height of the its instability. And then it stepped on a nail. Then with that pain, with intoxication, and by its nature itself, you can imagine how unstable, uh, then such is the mind. So it is very difficult to control the mind. So Krishna says, right, who am I? Arjuna himself says, oh Lord, mind is like a wind. I am not able to control. Krishna says, yes, I agree with you. There is only way one can do this. Only way, only way. He gives the formula of practice and renunciation, detachment. These are the only two things you can control. So sadhana and then detachment. Because often even in the society, we people say, okay, what when we came here, what we brought, and when we go, what we take up. So it is said, but the detachment can only be truly practiced when we read the scriptures and practice. And Srila Prabhupada has given that. There is nothing that we can look outside, because Srila Prabhupada has given entire thing, including the literature and the process how we can um, do this one. So these are the some of the thoughts. Uh, so I just thought to speak myself. Uh, I'm not elevated to anything, but just those are some of the things which I thought I just wanted to speak loud. Hare Krishna. Any comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. So, from the verse, Prabhu, looks like, Dharmaraj made a mistake, right?
Hmm.
Giving a punishment for a simple act, right? But then it looks like,
Yamadharmaraj. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Dharmaraj, yeah. But then
Hmm.
it looks like, of course, he cannot make a mistake, right? It is the punishment that the person has to be given. But then I think it all looks like, from in a great personality's life, it is the arrangement of the Lord. So at the same time, I think lesson for us, as you said, we should be, the punishment that one gives. Of course, we are
Hmm.
not eligible to give punishments, but I'm just saying the punishment has to be in proportion, right? At least, right? It should not be, uh, I mean, unproportionate, right? That is the one lesson that you are trying. The other thing I was thinking about the other side,
Hmm.
how come Dharmaraj will make a mistake, right? So he will not be making mistake, and how a Brahmana is cursing him. I think it is here, it is from the arrangement of the Lord, because even though he is in the Vidura's body, still he is a great soul, right?
Hmm.
As you said, he,
Yeah.
so though he has taken that birth in Sudra's family, right? Still,
Hmm.
uh, he is a great personality. From his teachings and from his, coaching to the Dhritarashtra, right, and all the other people,
Hmm.
and how
Yeah.
the Lord is so dear to him also, right? So, the Lord is going to his place. So,
Hmm.
so nice.
Yeah.
And also from, yeah, the other topic you mentioned, I think, Prabhu, a lot.
And
Yeah.
on the same topic, Prabhu, see, as a jivas, we can learn lessons. See, even Maitreya Muni, he's a Brahmana, right?
Mm.
He should, the other side to think about that, how can he curse Yamadharmaraj? Because he's not doing something out of he is just
Mandukamuni,
punishing.
yeah, yeah. Mm.
So he should have thought, okay, he's just giving me the punishment. So the different lessons we can learn, but for for our application.
Yes. Yes,
But in the bigger scheme, those are the things. Yeah,
the Lord is
why
artist.
Lord is architect, everything, right? We say even grass, a straw of grass cannot be moved by the Lord without the will of the Lord. So there is a reason. So that's how we can put it in the background. But from a lessons perspective, it's both sides. He is doing his duty, but at the same time, he's cursing. Means there got to be something behind this. Yes, yes, nice, Prabhu. Go ahead. You were saying something.
No, no, the other thing I was saying, I think you nicely put the topic about controlling the mind, and
Yes.
what is the sadhana that keeps us in connection with that process of devotional service, which is ultimate goal of life. So instead of engaging in that rat race, so you put like pictorial view of everything together, bro. Thank you. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is, I mean, Prabhu. Yeah, that is very. These days, it's. I mean, even sadhakas day in day, right? Often we don't take time for looking inwardly and recalibrating. That is, in my opinion, very important, because no matter whatever it is, problems are going inevitable for us, um, and how we sustain. Um, that's what we can. That strength we gain from these teachings.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. I think we
Rajesh
will.
Prabhu, Radha Kunj Bihar Prabhu, any points, sir?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
it was nice to hear from you after a very long time. So sweet. uh, I was also thinking about, uh, Manduka Muni, as well as, Yamadharmaraj, and how they, how he had to reincarnate. My question was more around, like we see the example of Parikshit Maharaj, where he just accepts his fate and then he moves on.
Yep.
Whereas in Manduka Muni's case, he's actually escalating it.
Yeah.
He's not even counteracting it, but he's escalating it. He's
Mm.
going from the magistrate all the way up to Yamadhar Maharaj. What I don't understand is, it is the magistrate who made the mistake for whatever reason. And instead of taking it up with the magistrate, how is it that Yamadharmaraj is responsible for that action?
I think in his childhood, he pierced that one, Prabhu. The Manduka Muni, he tortures the insects or whatever, that one.
No,
And go
that I
ahead.
understand, Prabhuji. So he gets punished. But
Right.
my question is, why does Manduka Muni go from the magistrate, instead of chastising the magistrate and the king? Why does he go all the way up to Yamadharmaraj? What is Yamadharmaraj's involvement in this?
I think after leaving his body, I think that is when he goes to the Yamadhar Maharaj. That is when it happens, I think, Prabhu. Because I'm just who takes the charge of Let me just read this, Prabhu. Okay.
Oh, in this
Prabhu,
purport only, right? It says, as the appointed controller after death, Yamaraj once tried Mandavya Muni for his
Mandavya,
childhood, yeah,
yeah.
for his
Prabhu, I
childhood
think, I
profligacy.
think, yeah. Is Mandavya Muni, for after his leaving his body, Prabhu, death. That's when there is
I'm not
two.
sure, Prabhuji. That is not the story I've heard from my childhood until, even after coming into ISKCON. The story I've heard is he gets punished, and then once the king comes and begs forgiveness and relieves him, that is when he goes and meets, just like how Nachiketa goes and meets, Yamadhar Maharaj, he goes and meets Yamadhar Maharaj. So there are these people who are capable of traveling from one planetary system to another. So he goes and he meets Yamadhar Maharaj, and he takes Yamadhar Maharaj to task. My question is, how is Yamadhar Maharaj related in this when there is a living entity who did that mistake? Why did it get escalated? I'm not asking about how he went, when he went, all those things. And my question is just, why was it escalated?
What do you mean by escalated, Prabhu? I thought the way I
Yeah,
understand
Prabhuji.
you.
Okay, I can, why is Yamadhar Maharaj responsible for a mistake that a magistrate did or a judge did?
But the mistake is by the Muni itself, right? Manduka Muni, when he performed in his childhood that offense, right? That's what the story I heard.
Correct, Prabhuji. I'm not disputing that at all.
Hmm.
The Muni could have cursed the judge who gave him the punishment. Why did he
just
go to Yamadharmaraj and why did he curse Yamaraj?
I think that's a bit related, different story. I think, Prabhu. Let me just read this one. Once upon a time, the state police caught some thieves who had concealed themselves in a heritage of Manduka Muni. The police constables, as usual, arrested all the thieves and Manduka Muni along with them. The magistrate specifically punished the Muni to death by being pierced with a lance. When
Correct.
he was just to be pierced, the news reached to the king that he at once stopped the act of consideration of his being a great Muni. The king personally begged Muni. So here, I think he was caught along with other thieves, Prabhu, right? It is not the king is punishing him for the act of what he is done in the childhood, right?
It's okay, Prabhuji. I think we are getting mixed up. Okay, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
No. That's good, Prabhu. I mean, we all
No,
get
no,
clarified.
Prabhuji.
Mm,
I'm talking about the same incident. He
mm,
gets punished because in the childhood he did something. He
mm,
gets caught with this group of thieves because they were hiding. All of
mm,
this is correct.
mm.
My question is, why is it that he escalates? It is the magistrate who did the mistake. It's the king who is responsible for the magistrate. He could have cursed the king, he could have cursed the magistrate. Instead, he curses Yamadharmaraj. Why is Yamadharmaraj in the picture at all? Why does this Muni bring Yamadharmaraj into the picture?
But isn't it the Muni went to after his death? He went to the Yamadharmaraj. That's when Yamadharmaraj was trying to punish Muni, right? So the Muni was thinking that I'm the
No, Prabhuji. That
that
is where
is
I'm saying we are getting mixed up, Prabhuji. That's okay, Prabhuji. We can take this offline. No problem, Prabhuji.
yes,
Yeah,
Prabhu. I mean, I
thank you.
think that's what I understood, Prabhu. Maybe I think we can discuss more.
Yeah, Prabhuji. Not a problem, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I think only three of us are there. Yeah, okay, Prabhu. I mean, that's what I think here. It's a Maharaj is being questioned by Muni. Prabhu, it is clear, right? I'm not sure the way you are
లేదు
saying.
ప్రభుజీ
Uh,
ప్రభుజీ
mm,
నేను అడుగుతా ఉండే ప్రశ్న అదేది కాదు ప్రభుజీ. నేను అడుగుతా ఉండేది
mm,
యమధర్మరాజుని ఎందుకు కర్స్ చేస్తాడు? తప్పు చేసింది జడ్జ్. He
okay.
doesn't ask Yamaraj after his death. He actually goes immediately after he is released by the king. He actually travels to Yamaloka. He meets Yamaraj. And then he challenges Yamadharmaraj, and then he curses Yamadharmaraj. Now, the question that I'm asking is, why is he making Yamadharmaraj responsible for some mistake that a clerk did somewhere? How is Yamadharmaraj responsible for this? That is my question.
Okay. Yes, pardon for the mistake. Okay,
We can
Prabhu.
park the question, Prabhu. Maybe we discuss with some devotees later.
Here in this purport, we can. 1 second, Prabhu. I think just we can. Did you read this one, Prabhu? Let me just read.
Yeah, Prabhuji. Yeah, Prabhuji.
News reached the king, and he once stopped at the constitution of being a Muni. The king personally begged the Muni's pardon for the mistake of his men, and the saint at once went to
At once,
Yamaraja,
Prabhuji.
yeah, who prescribed the destiny of the living beings. Yamaraja, being questioned by the Muni, replied that Muni in his childhood pierced an ant with his sharpened straw. For that reason, he was put into difficulty. The Muni thought it unwise on part of the Yamaraj that he was punished for his childish innocence, and thus Muni cursed Yamaraj to become a Shudra. Okay, you are saying the king punished this one, but why Yamaraj is given
In the
this?
picture. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I think there's a little bit confusion in this, as you said, but I think that way I thought Yamaraj only gave this punishment. Whatever the
No.
for that act, he was getting punishment in the court of the Yamaraj,
Hmm.
and that's when Muni cursed him. How
No,
can
no,
you
no.
give that punishment? That is my understanding, but I
No,
might be.
Prabhuji. Akada,
Okay.
you can read Prabhupada's line also. He said, at once the Muni went to Yamaraj, and immediately he went to Yamaraj. And this
Right.
is what I've consistently heard. There is no change in the story itself. Okay, maybe we should ask some other,
Devotee.
Maharaj or
But
somebody, so, or maybe I'm mixed up. That's
But
the whole
that means,
thing.
Prabhu, see, this Muni went to Yamadharmaraj means for punishment only, right, Prabhu?
No,
Why he
Prabhuji.
will? Uh,
No, he went by his own will. That's why I gave the example of Nachiketa
mm,
also.
okay.
You know, like
Mm,
Nachiketa went on his own will to
Prabhu.
Yamadhar Maharaj. Here,
okay,
Manduka Muni is going on his own will to Yamaraj.
okay, okay.
He's
Mm,
traveling to the other planet.
mm,
Prabhu,
mm. Okay, okay.
Prabhu Jagannath Prabhu want to say something.
Yeah,
Mm.
Prabhuji.
Yeah,
Prabhu.
go ahead, Prabhu. Is Prabhu is online?
No, Prabhu is here. Prabhu, listen.
Well, I was chanting my rounds, and then I heard this discussion. Okay, I think let me just rephrase what the context is. I think the
Yeah,
context,
Prabhuji.
well, the context is about, uh, uh, yeah, Yamaraj being born as as Vidura. Is that correct? Is that correct?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
And how he was born as Vidura is because of this curse of this Manduka Muni.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the context. And I don't know all the backstory. And your question is, well, why did Manduka Muni take it up to Yamaraj? Yeah,
Yeah.
the king was the one who punished him, or so, like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the story of the thieving and robbery and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so now let us go to Ajamila's story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when Ajamila is caught, I mean, he's being taken by the Yamadutas.
Mm-hmm.
The Vishnudutas, they come and they check the Yamadutas.
Mm-hmm.
And so then all the Yamadutas, they go to Yamaraj and they ask him, hey, we thought, you are so this is important. We thought you are the supreme judge of all living entities.
Mm-hmm.
So there are judges, but there are higher judges.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here you are saying the king is a judge, but above the king is Yamaraj.
Mm-hmm.
So even in mundane things, like let's say so high court, it sentences somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody has so that person has the right to go and approach the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
So in similar context here, so the king is definitely a representative of the Lord and perhaps even Yamaraj, we can say.
Mm-hmm.
Because Yamaraj, he is the ultimate, in this material realm, he is the ultimate wielder of justice.
Mm-hmm.
And the king, that's also his function.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but anyway, so far so good.
Yeah,
But now,
Prabhuji.
now the beautiful thing is, so the Yamadutas are confused, like, we thought you were the supreme judge. Is there somebody beyond you? Yamaraj says, yes,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in charge of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
He actually says, even amongst living entities, for example, because the animals, they are beyond the laws of karma, right? Animals, they don't accrue karma. So he says, even amongst all these living entities, I have jurisdiction over only a few persons. You follow? Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
so in the similar context, so Yamaraj is saying, no, there is a judge even above me.
Mm-hmm.
Krishna is that person, and he preaches to the Yamadutas. So similarly, your question is, how did Yamaraj get dragged into it? Well,
Yes.
Yamaraj got dragged into it because, of course, in one sense, Manduka Muni didn't feel that the punishment he was getting was justified,
Okay.
right? And so I don't think the king would have the answers. So he takes it up to Yamaraj,
Mm-hmm.
and he finds fault and he says Yamaraj is not doing his service properly, so he curses him. That's my understanding.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you for that, Prabhuji. That helps. Yeah, that is what I was asking. How did Yamadharmaraj come into this entire picture is what I was struggling with.
Well,
So,
but and if we talk about, if we, again we take it to our level, what happens?
hmm. Yeah,
Sometimes
Prabhuji.
like two children fight, right? And
Hmm.
then or two disciples they start fighting.
Hmm.
Where did they go? They
Maharaj. Hmm.
escalate to the spiritual master. Like, hey, what
Yes.
happened? Like, why am I caught in this?
Hmm.
Or the husband and wife are having an argument, and the counselor he gets pulled in,
Hmm.
like that. And of course, sometimes the husband and wife patch up, and the counselor gets fired, so he gets fired in between. The question is like, how did Yamaraj come into the picture?
Okay.
So that's how he came into the picture. Because again, we have to understand there are
Hmm.
levels of kings, levels of justice, like that.
Hmm. Okay.
So of course he could have said, "Hey," I mean, he could have asked the king, "Hey, can I go to Yamaraj?" Or he
Hmm.
just took it upon himself. I'll go to Yamaraj,
Hmm.
which we can understand. We all do that.
But
Okay,
the
Prabhuji.
Uh
question still remains same, right, Prabhu? He is cursing the Yamadharmaraj.
huh.
He can go to the, like in your analogy you gave, when we have a verdict in high court we go to supreme court
Yeah.
or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But here we can go to the supreme court for why the judgment is given like that, for inquiry. But
Uh-huh.
if he is cursing instead of high court, he can go to supreme court for clarification or the
Now you are
judgment.
getting confused. I think that's all right. Now, but I'm saying, see, we have to understand these things. As we say, not a blade of grass moves without the will of Krishna. Okay. So similarly, in
No,
the
yeah,
similar, so similarly here, the well, so for example, anyway, another example I'll give you. So when the four Kumaras they come, right? The four Kumaras come. Who makes a mistake, apparent mistake? Jay and Vijay. Who comes running to apologize on behalf of Jay and Vijay? Vishnu. What, Vishnu didn't do anything. So anyway, this is what I'm saying. This is sort of our responsibility. If so, similarly, of course, we make a mistake. I mean, it's not the spiritual master's fault, but we make a mistake. But sometimes the spiritual master or the parent, they apologize. They come and they apologize on behalf of their disciple or their children. So here again, so the main point is why Yamaraj? Well, so because again he's thinking Yamaraj is the ultimate just judge, and without his sanction, in a way, the king cannot also the king cannot make the sanction essentially.
King
Lakshmikanta
also,
Prabhu.
king also doesn't know that, right? I think Prabhu said only Yamaraj was able to tell him why he was getting that punishment from that king, right? Because of the earlier childhood punishment or childhood mistake what he made. That means Yamaraj knows all these things, right? That's why he's sanctioning that through the king, right? So then he says, "Okay, boss, you are the one who are culprit." I mean, I'm just saying, not culprit, but yeah, you are the one who are approving it. You need to get, you don't know, right? What you are trying to do. Something like that, right? My understanding.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I think that clarified for me. And thank you,
thank you, Prabhu.
Krishna. Krishna Prema Prabhu, thank you also. And Lakshmikant Prabhu, thank you also.
Will.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for all the.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Will end Prabhu now or Krishna Prema Prabhu?
Yeah, yes, Prabhu. We'll end here.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.